Hey everybody, I'm Paul Brandt, and here's my interview on Epiphone.com and Gibson.com.
We're here at the beautiful Sutton Place in
Yeah.
downtown Vancouver, and with Paul Brandt. Now, Paul, so it's the Olympics, and we're here. What are you doing at the Olympics?
I'm really excited to be here. You know, first of all, I just love Vancouver, and so any chance I get to be here to perform, I really enjoy doing that. But for the whole world to be here, it's a pretty exciting moment. I got word from my agent. We were actually in I think we were in Korea, or no, we were in Hong Kong actually, and flying to Cambodia. We were doing some charity work over there, and I got the call and they said they want you at the Olympics. I'm like, oh wow, that'll be fun, you know. So we worked out the details, and I get to be there to help people celebrate Alberta, and I'm very excited about that. One of my songs that I think has had the most success and that I've really come to be known for is a song called Alberta Bound. So to get to play that representing my home province here at the Olympics, I can't think of anything bigger than that, and I think it's going to be a wonderful night.
And today is Alberta night at the medal ceremonies,
Yeah.
and Canada got a gold.
Yes.
So the energy should be totally amazing.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed, you know, with Canada winning a gold and all the proud Albertans that I'm sure will be there. You know, we Albertans, we tend to not be very loud people.
Never.
Totally kidding, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we'll have a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of adrenaline in that room, and to be there celebrating with everybody else is going to be great. And I just happen to get to be the guy on stage behind the microphone, so it's going to be fun.
So what else has Paul Brandt been doing? Like, what's been going on? What's coming up? Are we looking for a new record?
Yeah, you know, I've been working really hard in the studio lately, doing a lot of writing, and this project that I'm working on, it's sort of taking on a life as I go. I think that it's going to be sort of a retrospective. You know, back probably 7 years ago, I left the record label in Nashville. I was living down there. Things weren't really working out with our relationship, and I saw an opportunity to try and start my own record label. And so I did, and it was the scariest thing that I've ever done. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it worked. The first album on my own record label ended up winning Album of the Year here in Canada for Canadian country music, and it really has snowballed into a lot of great successes. So I'd like to celebrate that on this next project in some way. So I'm anticipating there will be a box set along with new material as well. And it's been a blast kind of going through all the history of what's happened, you know, in my career since the very beginning, and I can't wait to share that, you know, in a really unique story to the fans in a way that they might not have ever seen me before. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You've also been doing some producing as well.
Yeah, you know, I got a chance to work with these guys. They're from Lacrete, Alberta, way up north. I hadn't heard of Lacrete, but their names they're called High Valley. They're three brothers, and these guys perform more than most established acts. They've been all over the place since they were very, very young. And I mean, they're only in their early 20s now. But the three of them travel. There are two wives and I think about a 10-month-old baby in a Sprinter van, and they do about 120, 130 shows a year in the Sprinter van, traveling around all over North America. And I was just really impressed with their talent. And I was writing with the lead singer, with Brad, who's the oldest brother, and I asked him, you know, what do you love? Like, I wanted to write something that I thought, you know, would really get these guys excited about what they were going to sing about. And he gets this faraway look in his eye. He goes, you know, I just love riding the combine. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to write a song about a combine. And we did, called On the Combine. And I think it turned out really well. And it was a wonderful experience for me to get to work with these guys and just see their talent in the studio. It was great.
Now, as probably one of, you know, in that tier of, you know, celebrated country, you know, artists and musicians, you are, you know, undoubtedly, you know, in the top three, you know, number one. But I mean, you've also done, you know, what would be the advice that you'd give to, you know, because country music, you know, sometimes gets put into a genre and it's grown so much. What would be the advice that you'd give to upcoming new country, you know, artists and acts?
Yeah, I get a lot of people, especially at shows, asking me those kinds of questions. But recently, even managers and producers and record labels calling me and saying, "What did you do?" You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that, it's kind of a weird place for me to be in, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in Nashville by myself, you know, at 23 years old, and I didn't really have a lot of people to give me advice or to mentor me through what I was doing. And I always had told myself at that point, if I ever do get to the point where I can, I want to try and mentor people. I think the relationship with High Valley sort of evolved from that. I really liked what those guys had to say. I liked their work ethic and what they were doing. But I also noticed that they just did it because they loved it. And I find that that's probably the one common piece of advice that I give to almost anybody who asks, hey, how do you do it? How do you get to that point? It's about doing what you love and doing it because it's what is inside of you. And it comes from a generous spirit of just saying, I'm going to do this no matter what. No matter if people download my song for free. No matter if I don't sell another record. It doesn't matter if anyone comes to the shows. I do it because it's what I am. And not everybody wants to hear that because I think that takes a real dedication to say I'm going to do it regardless of what happens. But I really think that's a big secret in all this. You just you go out and you do what you're made to do.
Now, another thing too that I know in giving to musicians, you also give back so much in so many different ways. Like recently, the trip to Cambodia. I know because we were involved with that too. But I mean, you're giving back. So talk about those experiences and.
Well, I was really excited to go to Cambodia. The issue of human trafficking is one that's on everybody's minds right now. Slavery around the world is at a higher percentage and higher rate now. More people are being traded in slavery than ever in history before. That's a staggering idea. And I was really excited when I called Gibson and said, we really want to do something special for one of the orphanages over there. There was no delay. We ended up getting a guitar and we were able to go and actually present it to some of these kids. Kids who've been orphaned by the AIDS epidemic, kids whose parents have been sold into slavery, children who've been sold into slavery themselves but maybe rescued. It was a pretty exciting moment to hand that guitar over and bring kind of a ray of light into their lives there for a moment. Music can be such an escape for kids anywhere, but especially in those situations. And so it was a wonderful thing to partner with Gibson on that and to get the opportunity to go and see people who are on the front lines and actually affecting change in these situations. It was pretty cool. I love getting the chance to use this platform and use my music to do those kinds of things because I really think in the long run those are the things that really matter anyways.
So in the guitar realm, the Hummingbird, that's become one of your guitars.
Yeah.
Beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you like about it.
Well, I love the classic feel of the guitar and the look of the guitar when I'm on stage. But I mean, the sound goes without saying, But I love just kind of the feel that I get every time I pick up a new guitar. I always feel like there are new songs in it. I've always felt that way from the moment I started playing when I was about 13 years old. And this one, every time I sit down, it just seems to flow. There's just something about it that just seems to really work for me. It's got the right feel on the neck. It's got the right sound to it for me. And I just I don't know. It's been a real go-to for me when I've been on the road and when I've been on stage, and it's been a lot of fun to play.
And recently, too, I also noticed that you were really involved with Hockey Day in Canada.
Yes, yeah.
Which is also giving back.
Yeah.
Talk about that. How was that?
It was so exciting. I've done anthems for different sports teams throughout the years. I had a chance to play at the All-Star NHL game at one point down in Florida and sing the anthem there. And was really excited to see Sheryl Crow playing on stage. They wheeled out a stage in between periods during the All-Star game, and I always kind of put it in the back of my head, this would be really fun to try and do someday, and so I talked to the Flames, and we kind of wanted to do something big. They had their Western Night that also fell on Hockey Day in Canada, which does a lot of giving back, and I know Gibson's a huge part of that as well. And so I found the biggest trailer I could find. This thing stretched from blue line to blue line, and it only had about an inch of clearance on either side of the entrance to get onto the ice. And we rolled it out between the second and third periods and played the song Alberta Bound. And it was a huge thrill. I mean, to be on national television in front of an audience of that size, it was one of the only times that I've ever seen the break between periods where nobody left their seats. I mean, everyone was right there watching and part of this whole event, and it was a real career highlight for me to get to finally make it onto Hockey Night in Canada too. That was a pretty exciting moment. So
I have a trivia question that I'm asking everybody. We're trying to see how people are doing with this. So gold, because Canada and hockey, gold medal men's round. Who's going to be in the finals, and what is the final score going to be?
Oh my goodness! Wow, people are going to bet on this. I have no idea.
No, we do not do illegal gambling.
I got you. Good. I'm gonna. It's the U.S. Canada battle is always great, but I'd love to see a classic U.S. Soviet match up there. I think it'd be really cool. And I imagine that battle would probably take us to probably a 5-4 score, of course, in favor of Canada.